battles. Meanwhile, Barry McMahon is already probably out to over a dozen seconds clear. So that battle, well, not a battle so much, it's a test, isn't it, really, for Barry McMahon? How much can I win this motor race by?
It's a way of winning the championship as well. So towards the end of the last lap, I thought he started to catch again, and not so much past him. So the one side so McMahon through again, lapping consistently within a second of his previous laps, and across the line comes Scott Austin, and it was more of a slower lap for George Osborne, which should mean Tom Hill is closer to him. He is by a second. First race was just last month at Croft in another Alfa Romeo GT. The top two, the two Fords in the Twin Spark Cup, head their way through Murray's. Same order, Richard Ford ahead of James and pulling away now. And for third position, Colin Cunniff is still ahead of Jonathan Billingsley. Got the 156 ahead of the 147 here as they come across the line and they complete another lap, and they continue in that order. At the back of the field, Stacey Dennis has pulled away from Andy Winterden, so that will continues in the same order as it was. The actual drivers nobody's broken one yet this weekend in the high-tech Alfa Romeo Championship. We're into the second half of the race.
So it looks like there's a good fight among the Andys ongoing, isn't it? Andy Page and Andy Inman. I think that definitely straight, but of course the modified class car on Page should be quicker in a straight line, so whether or not the time is being made up exclusively on the centre and deadly straight.
Barry McMahon goes 2.5 seconds quicker than he's gone all race long. Quite as quickly around the circuit as he has done in the past, but obviously a very warm day, as you all know, out there today at Snetterton, so that probably isn't helping things for lap record performance. That lap, George Osborne pulled away again from Tom Hill. So still Scott Austin in second, third, leading out Hill. What happens to the Andy? Again, Andy Page with the PB. And 12 minutes 20. Twin Spark Cup cars. We've had a change for third on this lap because Jonathan Billingsley has been trying for a while. He's got himself ahead of Colin Cunniff, so he's into third. Meanwhile, up front, Richard Ford continues to drive away from James. So this is looking good for Richard Ford, who carries the high-tech logos visibly on his car as he crosses the line. So it's another best lap of the race. Continues to be the lap record. After 5 laps, Barry McMahon's lead margin is 24 seconds over Scott Austin.
What can you say about Barry McMahon that hasn't already been said in these Alfa Romeo races? He's out this car every time. Does a fair amount of mileage, does the Alfa. the Alfa Championship as well as numerous other categories, and what an amazing piece of kit. As I said yesterday, over 20 years of history to that one. I believe it initially raced in Belgium, but there's some discussion over that. We know it did many a year in Denmark and then the Scandinavian Championship as well, so it would have been on the same grid as the in the late 2000s with on the record, and it's gradually evolved from a Super 2000 car into a beast all of its own over the years with Barry McMahon, and a very effective one at that.
The Scandinavian Touring Car Championship is pretty popular, hasn't it, over the years? There's some big names, as you say, who have come over from the British Championship, although obviously the British Championship had a lot of the Scandinavian drivers over here as well. Barry was second in this race, closing right up. The best lap in the marathon in the race, 13.69, and catching there for carry on today, but not at the speed that we know we can do in that car.
Yes, it is a shame to see. It just looks as though we may end up with like that's going to happen now. The Alfa GT, of course, despite being a coupe shape, it is indeed a front-wheel drive car, sort of a spiritual successor to the Fiat Coupe, actually, really, in the way that it is developed, and of course that would make sense. Of course, as we all know, Alfa, part of the FCA umbrella. That Alfa team and Thomas Hill can be very quick, as you said, and sadly we're not quite getting a full showcase of that today. What we are getting a good showcase of, though, is Scott Richard Austin's car. It lost a good amount of oil in qualifying yesterday, didn't start very well as a result, and then of course we have the safety car, and limited any moving up the order yesterday, but this time around the 55 of Scott Richard Austin is really putting on a showcase for itself. That time in the battle for second overall, so Austin looks like he's just got a little more pace in hand, although look at their best laps, a 2:13.68 last time by for Scott Richard Austin, so he's actually just put the hammer down a little bit more, exactly 1,000th of a second quicker than George Osborne's best.
Scott Austin hasn't finished on an overall podium this season. His best result's been a 4th, so this is quite an improvement on that. So that's good to see. Will he be able to hang on ahead of George
Scott, I'm sorry.
Not slow, we might be able to get to the end because there's not too much longer to go, 2.5 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, but he's going to lose that podium. Tom Hill just behind him now as they go into Williams, in fact dives to the inside at Williams, takes the position, Hill into 3rd place. Oh, that's so unfortunate for Scott Richard Austin. He works very hard on that car. From what I've seen of him, I've chatted to him a couple of times this weekend. From what I can tell, he is very much a one-man band with that car, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's going to take the podium he wants to.
Barry McMahon started 5 laps late, 9 laps late for the high-tech Romeo Championship. 8 laps for the November races to go, so the Romeo Championship well and truly getting to its climax, and Barry McMahon is going to be the championship leader heading to Festival Italia at Brands Hatch next month in 4 weeks' time, I think it is. So, championship is going well for him. He goes on board, and in a battle there for the overall title.
Smoke out of Scott Richard Austin as he goes through. Something of the motor, whether it might be something a little bit more just the